Sergeant Preston of the Northwest Mounted Police with Yukon King, swiftest and strongest lead dog breaking the trail in the relentless pursuit of lawbreakers in the wild days of the Yukon. Back to the days of the gold rush as Sergeant Preston with his wonder dog Yukon King meets the challenge of the Yukon. This is the Yukon, the territory patrolled by Sergeant Preston. The last great frontier of the North, with Dawson City as its hub, where all men searched for gold. And a few, like Crocker and Norwell, were not too particular how they gained possession of it. Periodically, the express sled from Dawson to the town of Hunker, some 15 miles southeast, carried a large sum of money to the Hunker trading post, money used to replenish the post's fur-buying fund. The shipment was always a guarded secret. But Crocker and Norwell, though new to the Yukon, were old hands at crime. Through trickery and seemingly innocent questioning, they managed to accumulate enough detailed information about the secret shipment to plan a daring crime.
I'll cross to the next rock.
Put up your hands.
Fool going for a gun when we had the drop on him. Hex, get that strong box fast.
Chain to the sled and padlock.
We'll smash the sled. Hurry. Somebody coming. Let's get out of here.
Joe, the money.
Not enough time. We'll be lucky to get out of sight before they get here. Come on.
Oh. Well, that did it. All our work and all our planning for nothing.
I wouldn't say that. The money will be delivered to the trading post at Hunker. And I've got a scheme to get it.
You and all your schemes. I should have stayed in the States instead of follow your advice.
You'd have starved to death. You don't have gumption enough to think your way past the second grade.
All right. What are we going to do?
Our old prison cellmate, Charlie Marino, who now calls himself Martin, manages the trading post at Hunker. Right?
Go on. We know that.
And he has a house all alone on the south edge of town, right?
Yeah, go on.
We'll pay good old Charlie a visit at his house. Charlie, the parole breaker.
So?
We'll put the pressure on him. Either he turns the money over to us when he gets it, or we'll see that the police find out about the prison sentence he didn't finish back in California.
Yeah, genius. Pure genius.
Let's go.
Sergeant Preston and King had been temporarily stationed in Hunker during the illness of the constable usually quartered there. On the day following the attempted holdup, Preston, having caught up with his paperwork, felt the need for fresh air and exercise. King joined him eagerly.
Go away! Hey! Get away from my team!
There's Jim Lorraine from Dawson.
Hey, go away!
Guess he isn't used to Hobo's antics. Let's give him a hand, King. Come on.
Hey, what are you doing? Get away from my team, you crazy galoot! Hey! Hey! On, you crazy hound, go on home. Beat it!
Down, Hobo. Down, Hobo. Hello, Jim.
Well, thank goodness someone can control that dog.
Oh, Hobo meant no harm. He's just demanding his rights. Watch. Here, Hobo. Come here. Up on the sled, boy. All right, down. You see, when Hank Burns comes to town, he usually gives Hobo a free ride on the express sled. As you can see, Hobo's the town character.
He sure is.
Are you sure you have everything in my list, Father? You forgot the flour the last time.
Well, now, Ellen, the man's entitled to one mistake.
Oh, Father, look.
Hey!
Whoa, whoa! All right, Hobo, this is the end of the line. Get off.
Isn't that cute?
Hello, Ellen. Charlie. Ellen, I don't believe you know Jim Lorraine. He's the manager of the Dawson Express office. Jim, this is Ellen Martin.
Hello, Miss Martin.
I believe you know Charlie.
Hello, Charlie.
Say, by the way, what happened to Hank Burns? He usually makes this run.
I was about to ask the same question, Jim.
Hank's in Dawson Hospital with a serious shoulder wound. He was held up on the trail yesterday and shot.
Good heavens.
Dear, I hope you'll be all right.
Well, if some passing trappers hadn't have run across him out there, he'd have probably died. But Hank will pull through.
That's a relief.
Was anything stolen?
No, before they could get to the strong box, they were frightened off by Hank's rescuers. I've got the load with me now. One of the trappers took after the crooks, but he couldn't catch him.
How many men were there?
Well, according to Hank, there were just 2.
Any identification?
Well, I'm not up on the details, Sergeant. I brought along a report for you from the inspector of Dawson. Well, one thing I do remember. I believe they called themselves Hex and Joe. Evidently they're from California.
Father, are you ill?
No, Ellen. Just a touch of illness. Nothing.
As much as I regret Hank's injury, it did give me an opportunity to meet Miss Martin.
That's very kind of you, Mr. Lorraine.
The name's Jim. I'm sorry.
Jim, when you're through, come on up to the Monte station. I want to discuss this attempted robbery further.
Right away, Sergeant, as soon as Mr. Martin signs the receipt.
There you are.
Hope to see you again, Miss Martin. Aye!
Father, I want to ask you a question. Will you answer it for me?
If I can.
These men that held up the express, do you know them?
Ellen, I don't know.
You think you might?
Well, when I was in prison years ago, the 2 men that deceived me into committing the crime were called Hex and Joe.
Try not to worry about it, Father. We'll hope for the best. I'll expect you home for supper at the usual time.
All right, dear. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Dad.
Well, you're looking chipper.
A cup of hot tea and a good wash-up, and, well, I feel like a new man again. Those descriptions fit anyone you might know, Sergeant?
No, Jim. I don't believe I've ever run across Joe and Hex, as they're called in this report. They must be new in the territory.
King isn't expecting someone, is he?
You'll see.
Oh, no, not that crazy hound again.
Whenever a hobo's hungry, which is quite often, he brings us a present in exchange for a square meal.
Well, why didn't he take his dead fish and go home with it?
Well, he's an orphan. That's why he's adopted us. You go over there and lie down. Go on. King, this is a job for you. Now take it for a walk. You know what to do with it. Come on. King will bury it. With Jim, I'll be in Dawson this afternoon. The inspector's ordered me to report to headquarters as soon as possible.
Well, I'll see you there. I'd keep you company, but I've got a few more deliveries to make.
Good luck. Hobo, let's go find you something to eat. Come on.
Well, now, that'd just be telling, wouldn't it?
Get out of my way and let me in.
Just a minute. Hey, you're Charlie's daughter, aren't you?
Well, what if I am?
When's Charlie coming home?
I wouldn't tell you if I knew. Now let me go and get out of here.
Just a minute, just a minute.
Looks like we're just gonna have to wait, doesn't it?
At least you might let me bring my groceries in.
Get them for her, Hex. No sense in alarming Charlie ahead of time.
I don't mind helping the lady. Always a gentleman.
Sergeant Preston had been puzzled by Martin's reaction to the news of the attempted robbery and Lorraine's description of the thieves. Before going into headquarters, he decided to have a talk with Martin.
Who's there?
Sergeant Preston, Charlie, I'd like a word with you.
Oh, just a moment, Sergeant. Come in, come in. Sorry to keep you waiting. I was just checking over the fur buying money. Can't afford to take chances, you know.
Well, that's why I wanted to drop by before leaving for Dawson.
Oh, you're going to Dawson. It's rather an unexpected trip, isn't it, Sergeant?
Well, I've been ordered to Dawson to discuss the attempted express robbery. Here's a copy of Hank Burns' description of the highwaymen.
Oh, I see.
I think you'll find it quite complete considering Hank's condition at the time.
Why bring this to me?
And I thought under the circumstances you might be interested. Besides, you might know the men.
Well, of course I'm interested, but there's no reason I should know them.
Well, in that case, he and I will be on our way. You be careful. Don't take any chances.
Yeah.
Keep that.
Come on, King. Goodbye, Sergeant.
Goodbye.
Norwell Joe Crocker. After all these years, has a man ever finished paying for one mistake?
Whoa, boys, whoa. Down.
Jim Lorraine, his mind full of Ellen's beauty, could not wait until his next trip to see her again. His delivery run had taken him past Ellen's house and several miles beyond. Now, returning, he was unable to resist the temptation to pay a call.
What is it? Is someone coming?
Be quiet.
Bring her here. There's a man at the door. Meet him like nothing's happened. And send him away fast, understand? Oh, no. Your old man's a jailbird. Old cellmate of mine. If I get caught, he goes back to prison. Hello again. I just dropped by on my way to Dawson to see if there's anything you might want me to pick up for you.
I'm sure there isn't anything. Thank you.
Well, I thought that maybe we could... Well, I don't have to be in
I
Dawson.
appreciate your thoughtfulness, but I don't need anything at all, Mr. Lorraine. Thank you just the same.
Of course, if you're busy,
I hope you have a very pleasant trip back to Dawson.
sure. Maybe some other time we...
It's Hobo.
Go on. Go on home, Hobo. Come on, beat it. Hobo, come on, beat. I'll fetch him.
Well, now I know you acted that way only because you had to, Ellen.
Shut up. Tie him up, Tex.
Get over there and sit down.
Guess what?
He's the boy who took Burns's place. Here's the receipt.
Oh, yeah?
He delivered the money to old Charlie this morning. Here, then, sit with her. Now, all we do is wait for Charlie to come home.
On, King! On King! On your husky! I got here as quickly as possible, Inspector.
Fine. We've got some more information on Crocker and Norwell from the California authorities.
I see their real names are Harry Crocker and William Norwell. Ex-convicts convicted of armed robbery. Had a third partner, Charles Marino. He was paroled about 10 years ago and hasn't been seen since.
You'll notice Crocker and Norwell were released just a year ago and were known to have headed north.
Now, this description of Marino is very interesting. Fits a man I know. Runs a trading post at Hunker. Goes by the name of Charles Martin.
Think he's Marino?
I don't know. But if Martin is Marino, Crocker and Norwell might try to get the money through him.
If that's true, we should lose no time in returning to Hunker.
That's exactly what I had in mind, Inspector.
There's been a new development in the case. The Express office has reported that Lorraine has not returned and he's hours overdue.
I'd better double my speed then. Everything seems to fit together, Inspector. Good night.
Good night, Sergeant, and good luck.
Thank you.
When Martin comes through that door, it'll be too bad for him if anybody makes a sound.
Jim, I saw your team. Crocker. Norwell.
Hello, Marino. Just like old times, eh?
Ellen, are you all right?
No, Father. Please.
Charlie, we know you've got at least $10,000 in fur money tucked away. Here's the proof. And you know what? You're going right back to that place of yours with me and get it for me.
Joe and Hex, I might have known this is what you'd do.
Quit stalling, Charlie. I said we're going back and get that money. Fast, you hear? Or we'll get word to the police about who you are. You'll lose your job, Charlie, and go to prison.
Now, Joe, that's company money. I'll give you everything that I've got, that I've saved since I've gone straight. You ruined my life once. Don't do it again by forcing me to commit another crime.
The money, Charlie. I said let's go get it now. And Hex will stand guard over this pail till we get back. Do you understand what might happen to them if there's any trouble?
Don't do it, Father.
Mind your business.
I'll get the money.
You'll never get away with it.
It's a good thing your old man doesn't have your spunk.
In the Arctic night, Sergeant Preston and King pushed on toward Hunker as fast as the dogs could travel.
Mike! That old man of yours is trying to pull something. He'll be sorry. And so will you. Don't you start anything either. Can't you keep that mutt quiet?
All he wants is something to eat.
Well, he's getting on my nerves.
Hobo had just one thought in mind. to get to Sergeant Preston as fast as possible, deliver his present, and be fed in return. Sergeant Preston and King had just completed their return trip to Hunker after a record run when Hobo appeared.
Oh, I haven't time to feed you now, Hobo. Wait a minute. What's this? Well, this is Jim's express receipt book. Well, where'd you get this? King, Jim's in trouble. We're going to have to backtrack Hobo. Come on.
Well, I guess we're just about ready.
And what makes you think you'll make the border?
Because you're going to go with us, see? Just to keep you and everyone else quiet until we get across.
Don't go with them, Father. They can't force you. Stand up to them.
It's too late now. He's in this just as deep as we are.
Oh!
You're forgetting about me. I know the truth. If you talk before we're safe, you'll make trouble for Charlie. And once we're across the border with the money, we don't care what you say.
You too safe I'll let you have it too, Marino.
None of that, Hex. All we want now is to get the express sled and get across the border fast. Go on, get up. And no more tricks.
Drop your guns. You're under arrest in the name of the Crown.
Drop your gun, Mountie, or I'll put a hole in Marino. Drop it.
Drop, Martin.
Joe, get it off of me! That's enough.
Sergeant, I've got him covered.
Right move. Get over there. All right, Jake, let him up. On your feet, Norwell, on your feet. Now, both of you get your hands over your heads. Hurry up.
Thank goodness you came in time, Sergeant.
You can thank Hobo. Where's Jim?
He's inside with a shoulder wound.
He's fine, but we should get him to a hospital.
All right, we will. Is this the money out of your safe, Martin?
Yes, all of it.
Well, I'll take charge of it until this matter's cleared up. When we take Jim and these prisoners into Dawson, you'd better come along with me and have a talk with the inspector.
I'd be glad to. Get this thing off my mind.
All right, you men, turn around and get your hands behind you. Keep me covered, Martin.
Hello, Sergeant.
I thought I'd find you here. How's our patient?
Oh, made great improvement in the last few days. Oh, and, look here.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I've just come from hearing the sentences handed down, and both Crocker and Norwell received long prison terms. And of some good news for you, too, Charlie. They both confessed to using threats against your life to force you into that California robbery.
Oh, you see, I told you everything would be all right, Father.
Well, a man couldn't ask for much more. A good job, complete exoneration, a new son-in-law. Oh, and a new addition to the family.
A new addition?
Yes.
Jim insisted on adopting him.
Hobo's found a home at last. That's wonderful. Well, a man and a dog need each other. We know, don't we, King? This case is closed.